Okay, I'm gonna go over this section on how to find a side measure using trig. Okay, so your steps are pretty much the same in the sense of that you have to first circle your reference angle. So like on example one, our angle that's given is the 32. And so we take that and then we label the sides in relationship to that angle. So because I have to go across and get to this x, this is the opposite. Get to that. The opposite side. I'm just going to put O for opposite. And 13 is the side that's adjacent to the angle next to it. So I'm going to put an A for that. So in order to write an equation to find this angle, we have to determine which trig function deals with O and A. So this goes back to this little SOHCAHTOA sine is opposite over adjacent, hypotenuse cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and then tangent is opposite over adjacent. So right here, right off the bat, because I see an O and an A, that means I'm doing tangent. So you write it as tangent of the angle 32 degrees equals the opposite side over adjacent. So that is the x over 13. Now, to solve a trig ratio or trig equation, because we have a ratio, we want to make both sides fractions, both sides a ratio. So we're just going to put this over 1. And now we're going to cross multiply, to solve. So 1, if I cross multiply, that's giving me 1 times x. That's just x equals. And then when I cross multiply the tangent of 32 times 13, 13 is the side. So it's saying 13 times the tangent of 32. Or you can put the tangent 32 together. Keep that because it's the trig and the angle times the side. These are, you can't multiply the 13 times the 32 because this is an angle and this is a side. Okay, those are not like terms. So what we're going to do is this section here is what goes in the calculator. Okay, so even if you don't have a calculator, you have to at least get to this point for you to show understanding and get full credit. Now, our calculator we use in class, we have to make sure the mode is in degrees, which this one is, in order to get correct answers. If I get negative answers or real small or real big answers that don't look like they match the scale, then odds are the mode might be wrong. And you could do this as well. Let me clear that. On your cell phone, it has trig functions as well. But there's a free version of our calculator that we use. So because we had 13 times the tangent of 32, we're going to hit enter. We're going to approximate, we're going to decimal answer. We're going to round to the nearest tenth here. So our answer is x is approximately 8.1. Okay. Now, I'm going to do the same steps for example 2. You need to start off by circling your reference angle, that's the 37. Label the size in relationship to that. Well, any side across from the right angle is always the hypotenuse. So have that down. And then our side in relationship to the 11 with the 32, this is the side that's adjacent. So I'm looking at the trig function basically here. It deals with an A or H right there. So I'm doing cosine. So you're going to write cosine of 37, the angle, always the trig and the angle, equals adjacent over hypotenuse. So that would be 11 over x. So to solve this equation, we're going to need to put the trig over 1 so we can cross multiply. Well, when I cross multiply, 1 times 11 is just 11. And then when I cross multiply here, I'm going to have x times the cosine of 37. Now, to solve for x, we need to get this x variable by itself. Because we're doing times the cosine of 37, we're going to have to do the inverse of that. So that means divide both sides by the cosine of 37. Okay, and when I do that, this side, these two cosines cancel. Okay, and so what we have is 11 divided by the cosine of 37 is going to give us our x. So this is the part right here that we have to put in the calculator. We have to do 11 divided by cosine of 37. So go to our calculator, 11 divided by the cosine of 37 degrees. Hit enter. So we're going to round this to the nearest tenth, which is going to be 13.8. Oops, that's the wrong one. We don't need that one. Sorry. So 13.8 is approximately the value of x. All right. So what I want you to do is try these practice problems using our reference angle 50 here. So 50. So to find the x first, if I look through here, the x would be the opposite. And then the other side that I have a number for is the phi, which is adjacent. So what trig function deals with opposite and adjacent? That's what I want to see. If you can write the equation, the trig ratio or the trig equation dealing with opposite and adjacent. So we had tangent dealing with opposite and adjacent. So you wrote tangent of 50 equals x over 5. Then you did it correctly. And to solve this, you would need to put this over 1 to cross multiply. But there's a shortcut here that I want you to know. Anytime x is on the top, okay, I'm just going to make a little note of it. Because the variable is on the top, you're just going to multiply to get the answer. So I can just straight show the multiplication of the 5 times the 50. So really x is going to equal 5 times the tangent of 50. And the thing is, you have to remember, this is the part that has to go in the calculator to get our answer. So we go to our calculator, 5 times the tangent of 50, and hit enter, and we get x is actually going to round up to 6. Okay. Now, I'm going to extend the page just a little bit. To do our trig function with the y, if I'm using the same reference angle as 50, but I don't want the x, I want the y. The y is the hypotenuse. So the sides I need to use is the 5 and the y, which is dealing with adjacent and hypotenuse. And so for that, you would have to do cosine of 50 equals adjacent over hypotenuse, which is adjacent is the 5 over the hypotenuse, which is the y. Now, here's the shortcut to help you. If the variable is on the bottom here, okay, so we have variable on bottom. If anytime you see the variable on the bottom, you're gonna switch and then divide. Okay, I think I spelled that wrong. Sorry. We're gonna switch, then divide. So this is what I mean by switching. Where this trig function is, we're gonna switch it and put it where the y is. And the y is gonna go on the other side of the equal sign where that trig function is. So when I switch them around, the y is here equals 5 divided by the cosine of 50. Okay, and then this is the part that goes in the calculator to solve. Okay, so you have to type in 5 divided by cosine of 50 and then enter, and now we get 7.8. Okay, for our y, extend y is approximately 7.8. All right, so that kind of takes care of finding the side measures when when you have an angle and another side. You have to have at least one side to do that. So that takes care of that tab. Thank you for getting that done.